Hi Miss Cunningham, this is Anna Nicholson, and today for my demonstration I'm going to be doing Valentine brownie cupcakes. To start out making your cupcakes, you need to make sure that you have all the ingredients. So I've already prepared some of the ingredients for us. I have the brownie mix and 2 eggs, 1 cup of 1/4 of water, and 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. So what you're going to do is you're just going to start out and you're going to pour all of the mix in the bag. Okay. From there I'm going to put in my water. 1/4 cup of water is what the ingredients called for, whatever your ingredients calls for. From there, I'm going to put 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And then I'm going to crack 2 eggs. And before I stir, I'm going to preheat my oven. This set that calls for about 350, so I'm going to go ahead and preheat that before I get stirring. And from there I'm just going to stir out the brownie mix. You want to make sure that you stir it good to where there's no clumps. I remember cooking for my brothers, and if there's clumps, no one's happy. So you want to make sure that you stir it really good. You can use a beater if you want to, but I just prefer to use a spoon just because I feel like it makes less of a mess for me. Okay, I still have some clumps in there, but before I finish that out, I'm going to put in my final recipe. I have a friend whose mom is a baker, and she has her own cupcake shop even for a little bit, and he recommended one time for me to put chocolate syrup in my brownie to make it more darker and chocolatier, and whenever it comes out it's actually even gooier. So I'm going to do that, and that also helps on making the mix. It's more liquidy and it's a lot easier to stir and get some of those clumps out. So I'm going to do that. Now normally whenever you make brownies you put it in a pan, but today I've decided to put it in a cupcake holders, and it's just a lot cleaner for me to deal with in the kitchen and just a lot more convenient. So that's what we're going to do. Trying to get all these clumps out. Make sure it's real smooth. See how it's smooth? Okay, from there, these are my cupcake holders. Put that in, and you're just gonna, I'm not gonna do the full set, I'm just gonna show you a few. It's a kind of messy process, but what I do is I do the cup probably about 3/4 of the way full, because in the oven it will rise. I say it's an easier process. There we go. I'm just going to make a few cupcakes, brownies for us. See, I'm doing about 3/4 of the way full, because you don't want it to overflow once it's in the oven. Okay, since it kind of made a little bit of a mess, you don't really want that to cook onto your sheet, and so I just have a rag, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe it off to keep the mix from drying and cooking onto the sheet. Okay. I think our oven is about ready, so we're going to put that in. And it calls, since it's cupcake and it's brownie, it doesn't really call for a mix for cupcakes, and so I normally just do around 28 minutes. This mix calls the lowest is 28, and so that's normally what I do, and it tends to work out fine. So, okay, so from then on, later, once it goes on for about 28 minutes, you'll have your cupcake. Here's my cupcake. It turned out pretty good. And I'm going to put some icing on it to kind of make it a little even more chocolatey. I love chocolate. So you just take this, I'm using Duncan Hines Creamy, just classic chocolate. And you just take about a knifeful and just put it on the cupcake. Spread it around where it looks about that. You can use about as much icing as you want. I don't really like too much icing on mine. And then, since it's about Valentine's season, I thought to put some sprinkles on there, some pink sprinkles, just kind of make it a little more Valentine-y. These you don't really like. I don't really like for it to get everywhere, and so I'm just going to kind of dab a little. And so not too much sprinkles, but just enough to give it a little bit of color. Okay, and whenever you're done, I already had a few set made for us. And these are great for parties, and they're pretty decorative. And you have your Valentine brownie cupcakes. So I hope you enjoy, and if you try them, they're pretty good. So thank you.